time I gave him the card I gave him, I thought I had like a regular church card. I didn't. All I had was the one for bring a friend to church thing. So I just did that, and I told him, I apologize. This Sunday we have an invite a friend to church thing. I apologize for not having our regular card. But I want to let them know this card here is specifically on the 14th. This Sunday we're doing a very concentrated, specific point of having a special lesson for new Christians, hopefully then help them to see Christ.
Absolutely.
So that was the first time you've been invited before.
And that's how it's a process. A lot of that's good. And Gustav did a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, he went to USF, and how did you talk to people at USF?
Well, he was getting their attention. There were a lot of busy people. Like, we would ask them, and they would keep going. There were a few people that weren't super busy, or that were waiting for customers who needed help, like workers in the library. And I remember talking to one lady specifically. So,
And you start a lot of conversation just by asking a question. That's how I saw you do that as well. So basically, that's what friendship evangelism is. You just talk to people, and you can invite them to a Bible study, to church. I give them a card. It's very powerful. This right here, if you do this every morning or just once a week, it can be highly transformative. The amazing part about this is, before I want just us to go over this first initially. Let me ask you this thing, Kim. Have you ever heard this term, evangelism? Soul saving is in a Christian's DNA. You know what that means? Does that make sense? Evangelism is in your DNA. Keep thinking about that word and see how that connects with this passage right here. Jesse, would you read that? Thank you, brother.
But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, people for God's own possession, so that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
So what did Jesse just read? He says, we are a royal priesthood, a holy nation. We are called by God. Why were we called by God? What is the next statement there? Why were we brought to his kingdom, brought into his family? What was the purpose? So that we would what? Yes, proclaim his excellencies. So for a Christian, our DNA, our spiritual purpose for being born again is to help other people become born again. This is why we are part of the family, is to make other sons and daughters of Christ through the Spirit, through the seed, the Word of God. The Bible tactfully mentions a couple of verses before that. In verse 23, the passage says that the Word of God is the seed. And when we plant the seed in people's lives, John 3:5, it says, when people are given the seed and they respond to it, what happens? They are born again. Now, everybody here knows how babies are made, right? Well, how babies are made by a seed, right? And if the seed germinates, it doesn't always germinate, but if the seed germinates, what happens? There is a birth. And that's the same thing with spiritual terms. The word is the seed, and when people accept the word, when it germinates, it's a rebirth. We are brought into his kingdom so that we can help people be born anew. We brought into the kingdom. So it's a very powerful passage. So when you hear evangelism is in your DNA, that means this is the purpose of the church, the Great Commission, the greatest purpose we have is to give seed, to give life. So it's very powerful. It's very powerful. So this question, being born again, this is something that Max Dawson talks about with his group. And he taught his church. He steps down from the pulpit and he says, inviting somebody is this simple. Max Dawson talks to his church on Sundays, and he keeps giving this example. He steps down from the church and he says, inviting people is this simple. Hello, my name is Max Thompson. I'm from the Dowling Road Church of Christ. We've got a great church. We would love to have you sometime. Here is our card. Simple as that. The church at the Dowling Road Church of Christ does this, and they're growing. The church that Benjamin Lee is at, they're growing is simply by giving an invite, which you can do in a variety of scenarios. So I want each one of us to read one of these things. They're colored. Could you, Gustav, read the first one?
Yes.
I'll read the initial thing. 3 daily morning devotional practices to get into the routine of regularly sharing Jesus. And you all are doing that already. I see that. Well, this will help ingrain it and help you put forth what is in your spiritual DNA, which is spreading the seed.
The first thing when preparing for the day is to pray for those doing evangelism. It gets your mind focused and centered on this spiritual work. Have a list and add to it. Side note. Selflessly devote your thoughts and your faith towards God in prayer and being a prayer warrior. There is power in giving oneself over to regularly doing this. The more you give up your faith in prayer, the stronger your faith gets. This practice also teaches the right spirit of evangelism.
Excellent. When you're praying for people about evangelism, it gets your mindset set in that mode. Your daughter's husband. That's what I meant. So when you know of certain people to pray for, there's power in prayer. To continually do that, it focuses your mind, it connects you with God, and it builds your faith up. So I encourage everybody, if you know of people to pray for, you're probably doing this, but those that you know about, to write them down on a list and to pray for them every day. If you're praying for the lost, you're praying for people who are spiritually in need, it puts you in that mind state, that spiritual attitude to want to help them and to help others who are lost and who are needing Jesus. So prayer is a very powerful conduit to get your mind focused on doing His work. And it also will help open doorways for those you're praying for, opportunities, spiritual situations. As it says in the Bible, ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door will be open to you. But if you don't ask, if you don't knock, and you don't seek, you're not going to receive. And this teaches us the servant attitude of what a Christian should be. Jesse, could you read the next one?
The more we intend to need of doing self-saving and the attitude of selflessness upon our hearts.
The evangelists are their kingdom of servants. It's the best way to undergird a group, an event, an action is to have self get involved. But when you empty self, it makes the effect of the work more effective. So if you're praying for people, if you're devoting your time and your energies investing in others, it makes you more of a servant and gives you more of the attitude, which helps with your growth as an evangelist. The best evangelists, the best leaders are selfless. And you all are here tonight. You can be doing a lot of things, and you're here. You're here, so that says a lot. And this is a powerful one. Jesse, could you read this one? Number 2.
Number 2, during your prayer time, ask God to bless you and help you, show you opportunities for that day. Then in faith, as you go about your day, begin to look for those opportunities.
What happens when you pray for opportunities? I'm going to ask each one of you, what happens when you pray for opportunities and you look for opportunities each day? Kim, what happens if you do that every day? The more you pray, the more your mind is open and looking, the more you get into that routine, the more you will see chances and opportunities that you wouldn't have seen before. The fact that you invited your daughter's husband to church when he came.
Actually, I didn't. That's the thing. I was thinking more about, most of my family is Christian, so I was thinking more about friends, and I hadn't. And she just happened to call me the night before and ask me, and it was strange. So, I mean, like I said, the opportunities come when you don't even expect them.
Absolutely.
I was glad they came, of course. But
well, that took place, and that's a success.
He's been going, but that lesson was specifically focused towards non-Christians.
And how did he respond to that lesson?
Well, I mean, hopefully he was able to hear it, because the kids are so little, and they're stuck on mommy and daddy, so it's hard to hear everything when they get a little bit. Sure, hear some of it.
How about you, Derek? When you're looking for opportunities and it gets you in that state, what happens? Like last Thursday, you saw an opportunity, but if you weren't looking, you also wouldn't have stepped up. And so what Kim is saying, what Derek is saying, I want to ask you guys the same thing. When you pray for opportunities and you're looking for opportunities, you're saying, Lord, help me to find opportunities and help my eyes to be open. And you go out into the world and you look. When you're at the restaurant, when you're at the laundromat, when you're at the grocery store, when you're running errands, when you're at the gym, and you see something, you talk to somebody, you see an opportunity, this helps get you in that state. So it's very powerful. Gustav, could you do me a favor? Could you read number 3? And then Jesse, could you read number 4?
After praying, read one gospel chapter or book of Acts chapter. Almost every chapter in the Gospels is about our Lord. Many of these chapters are about Jesus doing evangelism, and the book of Acts, known as the book of Actions, has in almost every chapter a story of evangelism. These passages show the gospel actively being shared by Christians. Read one chapter each day and ask yourself, how does this apply to me?
This also helps get you in a mental mode. When you read the Gospels, Jesus wasn't passive, was he? He was always out there spreading the seed. The apostles, those he mentored, were always out there spreading the seed. When you read the book of Acts, the chapters are full of them, the Christians out there spreading the seed, the disciples, the apostles. So when you read this, it helps germinate your own thoughts and ideas to do that. It gets you in that perspective and mindset and attitude and mental framework to be doing that daily. And who here is like, some of us can do this once a month, some of us can do this once a week, and some of us can do this daily. But the more you do what is here, reading the Word of God, praying for opportunities, reading about the examples of Jesus, getting in your mindset to do these things, the more you'll start doing this daily. JP goes out and every day he's getting opportunities. He's looking for them, he's interacting with people, and he's engaging. And my goal is for you guys to be so comfortable that you can just do it daily. Just interact and do what Jesus did daily, what the apostles did daily, what Christians in the New Testament did daily, which is to invite folks.
Setting goals. If daily invites aren't too hard, then focus on trying to do an invite once a week. And evangelism, like door knocking, campus work, even posting on social media invites to gospel meetings, Bible studies, etc., can help transition you to being more comfortable with giving personal invites. Start where you are at and work your way through.
Excellent. So try to aim where you're at, whatever it is, once a month, once a week, and slowly try to increase the workload. What we do with events will get us more comfortable. What we're doing right now will get us more comfortable with studying in a public setting. And what we're about to do will get us more comfortable. So doing this, and you guys can do this at home. Kim can do it to Derek. Derek can do it to Kim. You can do it to your roommate at FC. Jesse, you can do it to your mom or your dad. And the more you practice on each other, the easier it is to do it in real life. And it can be fun doing this as well. So a good way to do this is just asking somebody a question, getting a conversation going, or introducing yourself, giving your name, like you do on a date, or you do networking. You don't just come up to somebody and say, will you go out on a date with me? You talk to them first, right? You get a conversation going. It's the same thing with giving a Bible invite or networking. If you're networking with somebody, like you do Hutcherson work with Florida College, you probably don't just say, here's my card. You probably talk with them first and connect with them, then you give an invite. And this is basically the same thing with this. And the more you practice doing these things, the easier it gets. We're going to practice on each other. Okay, so this here's cards, and y'all can do it your own style, your own personality, and okay. So Gustav, Derek here is your friend you've known for 30 years. You guys are the best of friends. You fought in a war together. You're walking together, and y'all are talking together. So, how would you invite him to a church, what church Bible invite thing that's taking place at your congregation?
Hey Derek, how have you been? Long time no see, right? It's good to see you well and healthy. Where do you go to church?
Church in the neighborhood.
Okay,
You're supposed to the houses.
what's your favorite part of going to a church?
I like the pop-up.
You like the potluck? Say, I know of an evangelism group that meets right at a restaurant. Would you like to join us? Here's a card. You can just, if you want to come join us, this is the type of card you'll need. And that card I first gave you lets you register if you ever want to do a Bible study on your own time. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
Excellent. Very well done. Very well done. Very well done. So that's how you do it. Just talk with somebody. You interact with them. You give them conversation. Then you just invite them. I can ask you a question, Derek. How did you ask him out? Did you just go up here and say, "Go out with me," or did you? How did you go about it?
It's not like the talking to him wasn't the problem because I knew her. So it's not like I'm trying to. I knew two of her sisters in a sense at the beginning better than her because I was more involved. So I mean, I've known her family for a while. It's not like it's not like we never saw each other, but it was like it'd be like ran across your legs. Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, how's your mom? Great. When we first went out, it was at the time I was doing recording. It was there. Was I going to be performing or watching? I said, no, I'm just watching. But only two of them actually performed. The other just recorded. And then I had to reassure him that I came down. It's kind of funny. You laugh at that. So like, yeah, literally. This is a date, okay? I don't know. I am asking.
That's wonderful. And that's a beautiful story about how y'all got together. And what is a powerful story is sometimes evangelism is the same way. You build connections, and over time, with the rapport, it's more easier to get them to be involved. And that's not necessarily the only way to go about it, but chemistry, friendship, and connection can help as well. If you know somebody and you've been close with them for a number of years. Okay, it's your turn, Kim, to talk to Jesse. Jesse is your co-worker. Do you work anywhere? Home Health. Okay, Jesse, you work with Kim at Home Health.
Okay.
You guys are co-workers. And that's like a doctor, nurse type of thing? For the sake of
I got it. It's a shift change.
Shift change.
Okay. Co-worker.
Okay.
Y'all give me
That works. Okay, so Ken, you give the invite to Jesse. You guys are working together and talking, and you're working long hours, and y'all are talking together, and over coffee, you're drinking coffee, and so.
Going good. Sorry?
Guess I don't see you too often. Do you attend church anywhere?
Yeah, I attend Lady of the Rotisserie on Collier Parkway.
Oh.
It's actually called Lady of the Rosary. But okay, it's Lady of the Rosary.
Not a Catholic service. Join us sometime and see. Oh, this isn't for church, but we have a Bible study group. You can always come and join us.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And you always pretend it's like for church or whatever. This for the role playing. Excellent. Well done, Kim. That's very good. Very good. Okay, so Jesse, it's your turn. You are a family member at a family member relative barbecue cookout in the backyard. It's nice, cool weather, nice breeze, and a bunch of relatives are there with you. And Derek is your uncle. You can invite him to church Bible study or a spiritual event, or to get together and talk about spiritual things. And you guys are eating barbecue together, like chicken wings and those delicious hot dog stuff and all that stuff.
Uncle Derek, how's that barbecue sandwich?
Pretty good, man.
Yeah. I'm
Yes.
enjoying my barbecue sandwich too. Say, have you been going to church anywhere lately?
Well, you know how Yon is. She'll drag me along every once in a while, so I just go ahead and go.
Well, hey, if you ever want to study the Bible with us, you can join us in this Bible study group, TampaBay.com.
Yeah.
We meet every Tuesday and Thursday at Panera on Bruceby Downs. You know where Bruceby Downs is?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll pay for your dinner if you like. Yes. So it's going to be the one right before Fowler. You know where Fowler is?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, we hope to see you next Tuesday. All right. I will definitely have with.
Very good, Jesse. Very good. Excellent. And the last one, Derek. Okay, you're on an airplane. You're going to California.
Can you just ask
Yeah.
how, should we be willing to, kind of bribe people, kind of give them an exchange? Like, if you'll come to the study, we'll buy lunch or dinner for you.
I wouldn't recommend. I mean, you can. That's a good question. My mom. People visited the church where she was at. She would invite them over for a home cooked meal and a Bible study, just because it was hospitality.
Right.
But
right.
if you phrase it come over to, trying to think of a good restaurant, Carrabba's. If you come over to Carrabba's with me, I will buy you food. But we're going to have a study if you do. Then that's kind of bribery. But if you're doing it to be hospitable and friendly and nice, that's one thing. But if you're implying that you will give such and such for such and such, and it's just, but how you go about it. Like the loaves and the fish is what Jesus did when he quit giving them the food. Okay, so it's Derek's turn, and he's on an airplane going to California to visit. That's important. He's going to Sacramento to see family. Okay, and he's on an airplane with Gustav, and they're sitting next to each other, and they don't know each other from Adam, but they talk to each other a little bit, and they've been eating those pretzels and those special hard cookies they give you, and have been talking. What would you see today?
Doing well. How are you?
All right. You're good? So you going home or what?
Yeah, going home.
Going home
Yes,
from where?
Well, from Tampa, to be honest. Tampa to the Sacramento area. I'm just going to spend the summer there with my parents. Yes, sir. I love to read.
You read a lot?
Yes, sir. Most of the year I'm in Tampa.
Oh, really? Oh, fantastic. Hey, listen. It's all good.
Yes, sir.
It's all good. Look, I'm with a group that we like to study the Bible. And we're together. You come with me. You go to church meeting?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's a smaller place. Yeah.
Well, we're not quite so small and serious, but very close to people. So I got your number. You got my. Well, I'll keep in contact with you, but closer to August.
Very good. Excellent. And the more you can do practice on each other at home too, with your family members, your spouses. The more you practice on this, it kind of gets you into that synchronization where you can more easily do it in public when you're at a restaurant and waiting on you. It just gets more and more comfortable, which is what this is all about. And you guys did such a good job too. Y'all did very good. I just want to make sure this is still recording. Okay. And wow, the role playing went by fast. We got 10 minutes left. Over different techniques each class. The techniques we'll talk about takes about 5 minutes to talk about a technique, but we'll slowly whittle through the last who, what, why, where, when, how. Good questions to use using those words.
There's going to be some prayers about like Arnold and like how he lived his